dinosaur. It's a dinosaur.
Welcome to Charlotte, North Carolina, the site of tonight's Glytch Truck Series event here on Speed Racing Network. Myself, El Presidente, Jonathan Byer here, joined by team owner in this series, Jacob Zala. Jacob, thank you for joining us tonight. This is round 2 of the playoffs. We have the top 10 here. We're going to use tonight's race and next week's race at Iowa to determine who will be the final 5 drivers competing for the championship. So thank you for joining us here tonight. Yes, this is not the normal voice you're used to hearing. You're used to hearing Emerson Ardon, but he is on vacation for the next couple weeks. So you get to deal with me for this week and next week, and Jacob is joining us for this week. So I appreciate him for stepping in here. Jacob, before we get started, a couple thoughts you have for us.
Yeah, I mean, this being a playoff race, there are a couple drivers outside the cut line: Austin DeLong, Aaron Gerwitz, Dustin Slider, Wally Babb, Michael Sidor out there on the cut. Really looking for those guys to make a name for themselves here tonight and see if they can maybe slot their way in.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's going to be an exciting event. We've had some really good racing here in the playoffs so far, so I expect a lot in the same here this evening. Couple notes: we have 120 laps tonight. The stage break will points to the top 10. That happens at lap 40. Your playoff drivers are highlighted there in blue, left-hand side. It's also the starting lineup for tonight's event. All those drivers in blue who have made this round of playoffs, their points are all reset to being flat 0. So tonight's a fresh start for all 10 as we move into the full future races. So, like I said, this week, first race of this round, we go to Iowa, we cut to the 5, and then Nashville Super Speedway is our championship race in a few weeks. So, as we get started, bear with us on the paints. Trading Paints is having a little issue this evening, so we're trying to get those loaded, so you might see them flash around and maybe paint's not look exactly correct at the moment. Give it a few minutes. We're going to hope that resolves itself. But either way, we're going to have a fantastic race here tonight with 23 trucks strong. Pace truck pulls away coming out of turn 4. Barney has the green flag in the air, and we're racing at Charlotte.
Connor Cunningham will pull off with the lead so far here side by side with Dalton McKinney. And Dalton McKinney will slot in quickly there, and Connor Cunningham will lead down the back straightaway.
You're going to see these trucks probably want to fight to get to the bottom if possible. That is kind of where you want to be first. You want to conserve tires. However, the top of this racetrack will run. iRacing's had the dynamic track update, and you can find a lot of speed up there. But if you're wanting to run the full 40 laps, which I think is close to the exact fuel limit, your tires aren't going to be too happy if you stick up there too long.
Yeah, that is for sure. As we see Connor Cunningham up there alone, not many people taking that high line. And those tires definitely are going to hurt Connor later on if he continues to go to that high line. As we see Dalton McKinney takes the lead into turn 3. He's going to use about the middle line there with Jason Green right behind him.
Jason Green fighting hard for that second spot. I know he is one of your drivers that has made the playoffs, so he's trying to continue his trek into the season. He's going to slot into that second place right now. Connor Cunningham down third. Connor Cunningham started on the pole, already back 2 spots.
Yeah, I think he's just playing the long game, Connor is. I mean, he's got to save tires. You know, he needs a win to get in to the next round, so I think he's just letting these guys make a run, and maybe he'll get them later on.
To him a little bit more. You do see those paints refreshing on your screen. Again, we apologize for that issue. Some things are out of our control, and that's one of them. But we're hoping by the end of the night we'll get all of them loaded if possible. But either way, Dalton McKinney's going to stretch it out here for about a car length lead on Jason Green. Jason Green's not leaving him alone.
Nah, Jason Green is all up on that rear end. He's going to try to make a pass. Maybe. No, he's going to sit behind him. Sit behind McKinney here, and he's going to look and see if McKinney will make a mistake.
A lot of good action here in the middle of the pack. We have trucks all over the place. I haven't seen any contact or any major issues thus far. Everybody's finding their space, but close racing back here in the pack. And everybody's fighting, especially these playoff drivers, before we hit that stage break to get in the top 10, because every point does matter. And how many times have we seen Jake on these cut lines and come down to 1 or 2 points?
Yeah, there's been a lot of times. I don't quite remember a time like that, but I'm sure there's been a lot. As you know, it comes down to points. It is a points game in the playoffs, and you need to get every point possible.
Yeah, absolutely, every point does count. Every position is a point. When you get down to it at the end of the race, the top 10 get stage points, just like NASCAR does. That can make a difference in the race. See some good racing back here. We're looking at Kyle Speed here. One reason we're doing that is he has had a dominant start to the playoffs. He swept the first round of races. He's won multiple other races this season. You know, and now he's in a position where he doesn't have that comfortable points buffer he's had all season. He's back reset even with the other 10. So, you know, him find himself back there in 6th, maybe a little bit more of an uncomfortable position considering how the rest of his season's gone so far.
Oh, we had a little bit of contact there between Jason Crackey and Scott Kalal right behind Kyle Spees, but they were able to get that figured out. But yeah, Spees has been really dominant this playoffs, won a couple races, and I think for him now it's just trying to win some more to get into the next round and into maybe the championship, but that points reset definitely does take a toll on you, especially after being so dominant.
Yeah, considering that the top 10 are all even, and you know he basically won early in the season, didn't have to worry about making the playoffs because you just have to make 9 races for that win to count. Whoa, contact off the turn here. I think that's Connor Cunningham. That was you could read his door numbers looking down the front stretch there. I believe that was contact there with the 33, right in front of Kyle Speed, the man we were just talking about. And that's what can go wrong. We're talking reset. You know, he has no margin of error now. Like before, the win, and, you know, locks him through. But now, well, if that wreck happens right in front of him, that's a tough go.
I believe that was the 51 of Jeffrey Vickery there. It looks like Connor just kind of slid up, and we have a caution.
Oh, we do have a caution. The camera has not found it yet, but it looks like Ben Morrow in the 75 has been involved somehow in this. You see him there on the pits. I have to go back
Ben
and take a
Morrow
look.
was upside down, it looked like, for a second.
Yeah, that truck looks like it has considerable damage on multiple sides. Oh, yeah, indeed. Show it to you right here. Oh! The truck just went straight into the wall. There was some kind of mechanical ailment maybe that happened right there.
Had
And
to
he
have
just
been, I don't
tumbles
know.
on, yep, back to the pits. Yeah, I don't know really what was going on there. See if we can
I
take another
definitely
look
think
at
he
it.
had an issue, because I don't think anything else would make that possible. Nobody hit him. Nobody even, he wasn't even close to anyone to be able to
Going
hit
down
him.
the backstretch here, right behind Spencer Brown, it looks like. Yeah, the steering wheel is not turning. If you can see that tape there at the bottom of your screen, it did not move. So I'm thinking a wheel disconnect was the culprit there.
Yeah, that's unfortunate, especially for a 2-race round. That's something you don't want to see happen to a playoff driver, because that could mess up your chances in the playoffs.
Yeah, that could be big trouble. So we have some pit strategy happening here. You see on the right-hand side of your screen. The top 5 did not come down pit road there. So that's going to be Dan Park, Austin DeLong, Spencer Brown, Dustin Sluter, and Dylan Godinez stayed out. Dalton McKinney and everybody else on back there came down, so that's why you see those top 5 gaining some new positions. Up 15 spots for Godinez after he's found himself back at 20th. So a little bit of strategy here. You know, these guys only have 3 tire sets here this evening. I mean, yeah, 3 tire sets. So you want to kind of be careful in selecting them, and maybe these guys at lap 10 say, yeah, it's a little too early.
Yeah, I don't know if we're going to see a lot of guys pit here. I think it's still too early to take tire sets, but maybe some guys come down for some extra fuel, play the fuel game a little bit, see what they can do there.
Yeah, this stop for sure will get them back to good to go for the rest of this stage, I believe. So nobody that came down pit road there will have to pit again before the stage is over. However, there could be a possibility where those guys that stayed out have to figure out something before the race is over. So we will find out. A little wrinkle in the action here early at Charlotte. So Dan Park's going to lead us back to this restart here to start lap outside. Spencer Brown there on the inside, Dustin and row 2 on the top, and Dylan Godinez, it looks like he is, yeah, he'll be back there. The scoring is just flopping around a little bit as these guys get settled and the paints continue to load, which can be an interesting thing to happen on your screen. No playoff drivers in the top 5. That's Dalton McKinney, he is a playoff driver. He'll be the first one on fresh tires. You'll see him there in the 46. Looks like he's on the outside 3rd row. So maybe he'll take it 3 wide here on this restart and pass him on the top. We'll find out.
I wouldn't try it. It wouldn't be the best decision, but you know, you never know.
You never know. You never know.
Do it.
Pace car is away. They're entering the restart zone here on the front stretch. And we're back under action here at Charlotte. Top row does not get a good restart. That's going to hurt Dalton McKinney's chances.
Yeah, and if you're Dalton McKinney right now, you just got to tell yourself to stay patient. You know, I know Godinez up there, DeLong up there,
Oh,
I didn't get a good restart.
got some spin in there in the back.
Oh, big wreck in
We
the
got
back.
somebody sideways there. Joe Ruggles is in it, looks like. And who that other truck there is. Let's go back and take a look at that. We were focused on Dalton McKinney putting it middle 3 wide there, but well, that was the least of anybody's worries after what we saw here in turn 3. Joe Ruggles, I know, was involved, but I think Ben Park may have been involved in this as well.
I think it started with Gregory Thurlow.
Yeah. Yeah, 38 was sideways. Ben had nowhere to go. Collects the 4. I think the 84 may have got out of there unscathed. Joe just comes to a stop there. That's honestly some of the best things you can do if you see them wrecking right there in front of you. Is
Looked
just
like Wally
slow
Babb
it
might have
down.
helped the 38 there.
Yeah, let's take a look here from the 99. See if we can get a
I
good
don't know.
camera
38
angle
looked
on it.
like he kind of slowed down a little bit.
Yeah, 38 checks up mid-corner, it looks like, and just chain reaction behind him. But I don't see any really hard hits there. We'll go back and give you guys a look at it here. We're just trying to queue up the best angle for you. I think we might have found something that works. Yeah, you see the 38, he's just going to check up here in the middle. 99 just gets into the back of him there, and the 4 and the 1 get together. The 84 a little touch there, but I don't think that's going to hurt him. Honestly, I don't think that's going to hurt the 1 truck or the 4 truck either. Little damage on the back of the 4, but or the 1, but I don't think that's going to be too big of an issue for him. See him coming down pit road here. He's going to just go ahead and get that thing fixed. 75 obviously is going to be still sitting on pit road. That truck's going to be a while, but no big damage there. So I think everybody in that incident is going to be okay. But Ben Park, his rather not Ben Park. He was in an incident. Dan Park does maintain the lead on that restart. We saw him get out to a really, really good jump.
Yeah, I think he's on is he on older tires?
Yeah,
I
he's
think?
on older tires for sure.
Older tires,
yep.
But I think he did a good job at managing those tires. You know, Dalton McKinney really got messed up from Austin DeLong's restart.
Yeah, that top line got really stacked up there, and that kind of prevented the 46 from taking it to the top, which we thought was going to happen. And then he almost took it to the middle, so maybe it's a good thing that caution saved him, because that hole looked like it was going to close rather quickly. So let's run down your field real quick while we have a moment. We don't want to burn up too much of our commercial time too quickly. So we'll give you a look at some of these trucks. We'll kind of go through the field here. Dan Park is your leader here in 7 truck. Spencer Brown finds himself in second. Dylan Rodriguez finds himself here in third. His teammate Austin DeLong back here in 4th, and Jason Green is in 5th. Justin Fluter back here in 6th. Connor Cunningham in 7th. Dalton McKinney. Jeffrey Vickery in 9th. Kyle Spees, the really dominant driver of the season we saw earlier, is back here at 10th. Corey Stahl is 11th. Jeffrey Radke back here in 12th. Matthew Greathouse in 13th. Jason Crabtree in 14th. Scott Kalal in 15th. Wally Babb, who we saw somewhat involved in that last incident there, in 16th. Sean Long in 17th. Walter Pickey in 18th. Zachary Hines in 19th. Involved in that last incident, 38 in 20th. Joe Ruggles is in 21st, coming off. That truck has some yawn suspension coming off pit road. And then Ben Park is currently sitting on pit road, but looks like he'll be able to get repairs and continue. And then in 23rd, we saw that truck upside down a few minutes ago. He's probably going to stay there for the time being.
Yeah, I don't think we'll see him coming out anytime soon, rather.
Yeah, that's going to be a few minutes for sure. We're going to try to give Trading Paints one more chance to load these back up here while we're under yellow. See if we can't rectify the situation. Again, if we apologize for that. The drivers in this league do such a good job on their paints and their sponsors, and they're really passionate about it. And we hate when we don't get to showcase that the way it deserves, but we'll also try to get you some screenshots of some of these patriotic paints that these guys are running tonight if we can't get them to load up, so we can at least show their workmanship here on the broadcast tonight.
Yeah, and there are a lot of good ones out here tonight, so it's unfortunate that we don't get to see them, or rather the fans don't get to see them, but they'll at least get to see them after the race. And
interesting development here. The 89 truck just pulled out of line and towed to the pits right before the green flag there. So Austin DeLong, in one of those nice patriotic paint schemes we were just talking about, and DG Motorsports machine is, well, he's on the pit lane. So we'll have to check in with him, maybe his team, to see what's going on there. But meanwhile, we will come 21 trucks strong back to the restart. Ben Park was able to rejoin the track. I believe he is still on the lead lap, so no harm, no foul there. Pace cars diving back away. The field will be in the hands of Dan Park in the restart zone. As he enters the zone, we are back green here at Charlotte. Another really good restart for the 7.
Yeah, the 7's been really quick on those restarts, and the outside line has just not been able to get a good enough restart, as Dan Park will take the lead in the 1.
Nice clear track in front of him. That's what you love to see. Godinez, though, is not going to leave him alone here as we go down the backstretch into 3.
We're going to be side by side in the 3, and it's not Godinez, yes, it is Godinez, will take the lead from Dan Park here.
Wow, strong power move. Meanwhile, back there, we talked about Dalton McKinney wanting to take a middle 3 wide earlier. Well, he just did there, gained a ton of spots. He's going to work to the outside of Connor Cunningham, 5th as we get into turn 1.
You know, these two are battling up front here. I'm looking behind in the mirror if I'm Dan Park, and I'm looking at Jason Green. He is flying out here.
Jason Green means business. He's going to follow his teammate down the top side. Dylan's going to be on the bottom. Jason Green now splits somewhere in the middle, maybe trying to side by side for the lead. It's going to be a dead heat down here to the stripe. And Dan Park's going to lead that lap, Mike.
Dan Park still leading side by side, Godinez and Park. No line is going anywhere right now. Dan Park is going to get the run off of 2, and he's going to take the lead back.
Ooh, really tight move there with Dylan trying to get in front of Jason Green and get back to the high side. It looks like almost got the rear end of the 7, almost got the nose of the 55. But everybody makes it through okay, but that's allowed everybody behind him to kind of stack up in this pack here. That is the lap truck Ben Morrow we see up there in front, so we'll see what happens when we get to him, but he was able to rejoin the track. That's a good sight for him to be able to continue his points battle for the remainder of the season. Looks like that truck is driving pretty straight as well. So good thing there. But Dan Park now has a solo lead, the battle behind him here for 2nd.
Yeah, and he's got a teammate right behind him in 2nd, so, you know, I don't really expect...
Ooh, the 88
Green
got the wall there.
88's in the wall.
Yeah. Ooh, man, Connor Cunningham is all over. Everybody's trying to avoid that truck. Him and the 15 did a really good job of avoiding incident. That's going to back that 88 truck up quite a bit. You get freight train that looks like on the top. Ooh, the 25 truck there rather had a moment there off the corner right behind the 51. That was almost a big incident. Battle right here behind him. Spencer Brown, that is for 9th place on the racetrack. Again, Spencer Brown, one of those did not hit, did not get tires. He's battling that. Back up front. On old tires, Dan Park still able to hold serve. Got a little bit of the apron there. That's going to give Jason Green an opportunity.
And Green's just going to push him. I don't know if Green's going to push the issue right now. I don't expect Green to push any issue, force anything he doesn't need to. He's just going to stay behind his teammate, ride behind his teammate, and chill as long as he can, save some tires, and when it is time to eventually get around and be able to do so.
And I think Jason Green knows the 7's on some old tires, so it's just a matter of time before I get my shot. Looks like he's going to have a nose here to the outside of him off of 2, and this is probably going to be the pass with that momentum up on top.
Yeah, he's going to get a big run. Not enough there to get it done in 3, but he's probably going to get a massive run out of 4, side by side. Connor Cunningham's going to hit the wall there.
Connor Cunningham got a little wide off of 4, got the fence a little bit. He's going to slope a little bit. Jason Green also probably knowing, hey, as much as I'd like to stay behind my teammates and be patient, I got this hungry pack of drivers right behind me that's coming for me. So I need to go ahead and try to get some clean air and get the lead if possible. He does that in commanding fashion off of 2 and stretches out to a couple car lengths. So the top 3, now 4, looks like they're sorted out. Battles back here for 5th. Dalton McKinney underneath Dylan here in the spot. Kyle Spees is hunting right behind him.
Yeah, and Spees has been dominant on these 1.5-mile tracks, so you always look out for that 25 truck here on these 1.5 miles.
Yellow in the back. No indication on who that is
Oh.
yet.
I had a feeling that was coming. They were battling really hard there in the back of the pack.
Joe Ruggles looks like he's slowed up, so unfortunately I think he is going to find himself victim of another incident here this evening. Let's go back and take a look. Oh, yeah, we had some bigger issues back here, it looks like. The 75 truck again involved. Ooh, looks like the 4, oh, 64 took a shot, the 38 is involved, the 75, Joe Ruggles did the smart thing again, just shut it down there. And, didn't add to the incident, but big hit there for the 64. Let's go grab another angle at this here. See if we can't get a clear picture. Yeah, I just don't know that those drivers knew they were all 3 wide getting into 1, and wow. Big shot for Walt Lipicki.
I think that's actually the 84 of Sean Long, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, that's the 84 of Sean Long that was in the middle.
In the middle, and Thurlow took a massive hit, and Morrow was there too.
Yeah, that was a massive hit. We're gonna ride with Walt Lipicki here.
I didn't even see the Walt Lipicki one either.
Yeah, we're gonna ride with him right here, and show you guys how he can just be a victim of somebody else's issue. Again, does the good thing, tries to go low, just can't get away from the 75. I think that might be terminal for the 64 truck, unfortunately.
Yeah. Wow, he took a hit, and it's unfortunate. You think maybe you missed the wreck, and then all of a sudden, nope, you're in it.
Yep. So the 75 finds himself back in that pit road. The 89 is back on track. We saw him pull out earlier. No damage to that truck, so we'll check and see what the issue was there. The 64 Walt Lipicki finds himself getting repairs. The 38 Gregory Thurlow does the same. Zachary Hines looks like he's just getting a few more repairs done. Ben Park came down and got a little bit more work done. It looks like Scott Kalal came down the pits there too. Don't see any damage on that truck, so maybe he just came for routine service. Everybody else stayed out right there. Sean Long also came down and got a little bit of repair work done. But everybody else is staying out, and as you should. We're going to come around to have 12 to go in this stage, so you don't want to give up points if you're definitely up front. But if you're in the back, you might want to go ahead, maybe top it off on fuel to kind of change the strategy picture for the remainder of this event. So while we have a second before we go back green, we're going to hear from one of our partners here that runs our joint series here on Wednesday night, KSB. We're back here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. The field is in the hands of Jason Green. We're coming back to have, I believe, 11 to go in the stage. The stage will pay out points for our top 10. Again, our playoff drivers are indicated with the blue marker on the timing and scoring, and so those are the drivers who really are hunting the points a little bit closer. It looks like the pace car lights are still on, so we will go one more caution lap around. So as it sits right now, we have, it looks like 5 of the top 10 drivers are playoff drivers, and 5 of the other drivers are not. Jason Green is currently leading this race, and a win in this race as a playoff driver would guarantee him a spot in that final 5. So just like NASCAR has their playoff system, the Speed Racing Network playoff system works almost the exact same way. A win will get you to the next round. Which, in these short rounds, the good thing is there can't be more than 5 winners, obviously, and so that'll secure him a spot without a doubt in the championship 5. So, Jason Green wants to see that clean air in front of him for the remainder of the night.
Yeah, I'm sure he does. He definitely wants to get a win. I know it. Being his team owner, I mean, he's always hungry for wins. So hopefully he can get it done. If not, it is what it is. If somebody else wins, hey, we'll be happy about that too. So these guys are going to put on a good show to the finish, and I think everyone in here knows that.
Yeah, I mean, there's never a shortage of good racing here on Speed Racing Network, especially in these truck series. And then, I mean, just speaking on behalf of what we've seen this season, playoffs. We know the mile-and-a-half tracks are some of the best in our series we have here, and we've had a lot here in the playoffs, and we have just not seen thus far. Iowa's up next. That's kind of a different story. That one can be kind of rough and tumble, but the Nashville Superspeedway finale is going to be a sight to see, I'm sure. The pace car's pulling away. We'll come back to complete lap 30. We'll have 10 to go here in the stage, and the field is in the hands once again of Jason Green. Very equal restart compared to what we've seen so far.
I think it helps when you're in the same Discord as the guy starting the race, or restarting the race. Dan Park's going to slot right behind his teammate of Jason Green and in front of Connor Cunningham, but he's going to go to the outside now, maybe push the tempo a little bit here.
Yeah, we saw the 55 when he was behind the two leaders battling. He elected to go with the top. He eventually. So we'll see if Connor Cunningham elects the same here. He's currently going to slot into third. Kenny, the guys we saw leading early and up front early. He's also had a really good playoff in fourth place here, trying to get around Dylan Godinez, who has held strong. Again, he's one of those trucks that has not come down pit road yet. It's like 7. I know they didn't have that many laps on their tires, but seeing them with about 10-lap-old tires be able to hold their own up front, maybe some of these drivers are taking notes for what they can do strategy-wise later in the race.
Yeah, they've got to be taking something away from this. There's some good racing going on back there, but these guys, they know strategy is going to be involved at some point in this race. The cautions will stop, and we will have some green flag racing, so it's going to take some strategy work to figure out how to get through the rest of this race.
So we went 3 wide there for a second. A couple drivers thought better of it, but we have just a mess of trucks here right in the middle. This is like from 12th to 20th right here, and they are all over. In a good way, of course. Everybody is still going in the right direction. It is a mess. But as much as racy as this track is, it is tight in places. It has become extremely narrow. That wall can sneak up in a hurry right there.
Yeah, and one guy I'm looking at right now is Matt Greathouse.
Oh!
There's
Almost
a wreck right there.
Wow, that was Spencer Brown somehow did not get turned right there. Not sure how. Hines, way up the track down. He's got the 7 again. So did Glenn. Avoiding landmines currently out there, but no harm, no foul. That was a big moment.
Yeah, it was almost really bad for Spencer Brown, and luckily it didn't turn out too bad for him in the end there. He got very fortunate. Zach Hines is moving up the field after being in one of those incidents earlier on.
Yeah, we're looking at some of these guys right here that are kind of like in the middle of where they're at the stage. He didn't battle so hard with Jeffrey Vickery here. We all know that most important stage matters. So he's going to try all he can to get up there in that spot. Not able to make it around him as Vickery uses that momentum on the top. Right here at the cut from the stage point, a lot of trucks fighting for one spot right there.
Yeah, there's guys who want to get stage points, especially playoff drivers too, who haven't really gotten stage points and they need them. They want to get them in as quick as they can. And
the 4 into the back of the 3. The 3, wow. Nice save there by Jeffrey Radke.
It looked like the 46.
Oh, the 4 got in the fence big there. Oh, big gaggle behind him. Somebody was in the grass. The digger cam pulling us out. Everybody's still pointing the right direction. Don't know how that's possible. We might have to take a look at that moment there. during the stage break.
I think it all started with Dalton McKinney didn't give a lot of room to Radke, maybe chopped his nose off a little bit. I'm not going to say that he did. I'm not going to say that he didn't, but
Well, and then we saw the 4 get into the wall. Oh, we got 54, all kinds of sideways back here. Meanwhile, up front, we got a battle here up front. Kyle Speeds, our playoff dominance driver, is coming for Jason Green. Wants a piece of that lead.
If I were Jason Green, that's one guy I wouldn't want to see. That man has been fast all playoffs. I would not want to see him, and he's going to get... he was going to get it. Still has it.
Yep.
Got it.
Got it. Nice. Just got enough of a run out of 4. Jason Green got the apron right there. That's going to hurt his chances of getting back. Actually, four to grab second.
Yeah, Connor Cunningham will take second from Jason Green. Now we'll see if Connor Cunningham can maybe fight Kyle Speeds. We saw this last week at Homestead, Miami, the battle between Speeds and Connor Cunningham.
Now Jeffrey Vickery is going to take it to Jason Green. So Jason Green is leading the stage. And that was the stage right there. So
yeah, that was
Kyle Speeds. Yep, that was the stage. I wasn't sure if that was a caution or not. We lost track of how many laps we were on. The racing was so good. Cunningham's going to get second there in the stage. Great. Jason Green does hang on to the 3rd spot. Vickery comes 4th. Park 5th. Dalton McKinney 6th. Dylan Godinez 7th. Jeffrey Radke 8th. Scott Kalal, our playoff driver tonight. Matthew Greathouse gets all the way up here to give himself a stage point. And he's a playoff driver as well. So every little bit matters, and that'll help. Just outside, Corey Stahl. Didn't quite get it. Where needed to go. Ben Park was just a couple positions out. That's all right. Still a lot of racing left, a lot of opportunity for points. So I think here, Jacob, I think the obvious choice is everybody's going to go ahead and come down here and get some service.
Yeah, if I were a betting man, I'd bet all my money. I'd bet all in on them coming in and getting fresh tires and some Sunoco fuel.
Now, as much as you can pass on this racetrack, we saw the different lanes. Dirty air is a problem, much like you would see in the current NASCAR Cup cars. And so you don't want to speed here and cost yourself track position because that could be detrimental to your race. So, all important pit stop here. We'll see if everybody's able to get their service cleanly.
Yeah, that's one thing as an owner-driver I know all too well. Having good track position and then blowing it by speeding up pit road.
It's an unfortunate reality that exists in this sport. Everybody's filing into their box real nice and neatly. No issues there. We'll watch the race here off pit road. We'll see if the first box here gives the 24 an advantage coming off pit road. Ooh, got Kalal short spot. Hines out early. Speeds come out 4th. Ooh, strategy.
Makes me wonder if some of these guys didn't take 4 tires, or even tires at all.
Well, we saw Scott Kalal pit before that stage. And if we take a look here at the strategy.
Kalal took no tires.
Yep. So, Kalal, Ben Park, Zachary Hines did not take full service. So they're going to gain a whole ton of position. That's going to put Speeds back here. In 4th place. And he was our stage winner. So how about we get him on up here and see what's going on.
Sounds right.
So I will grab him up here. Kyle Speeds, you are in the SRN broadcast booth. Congratulations on your stage win. There's an interesting strategy in front of you right here with some of the guys not taking 4 tires. Talk us through that first stage and kind of your strategy for the rest of this race.
First stage just went slow and steady to begin with to see how this race was going to go. A couple of cautions, went in to pick up the fuels, went into the battle. Then I just went forward through at the end, kind of burned my tires to see how far I could get. Ended up winning it, so congrats to me. But here, like you said, I don't know how guys got in front of me, but you just answered it for me by not taking tires, so I'm a little worried about that. We'll see how their tires handle this run.
Yeah, I think what we saw is Scott Kalal came down and got tires right before that last caution before the stage, so he's only going to make out about 10 lap tires. The 1 and the 4 we don't really know, so that's a wild card. We're going to let you figure that one out. You know, these mile-and-a-half tracks always put on such a good race here in the eRacing Network. We really liked watching them. This has been a good event so far. But obviously your playoffs have been on to a really, really, really hot start. So how do you continue that momentum? Do you have anything to credit your hot start to the playoffs to?
Just the level head I've had all season, and I've quoted saying that about every time I'm in the field. I don't come in going with the mindset of where I want to finish and see how the race falls. During the season spray, where I put in a ton of practice, and in my mind I put myself somewhere finishing, and then I end up doing worse by messing up strategies. So kind of just go with the flow, see what's going to work, see where I'm going to land, see how pit cycle is going to work out. This season so far it's been great, and through the playoffs it's still working, so just staying as level-headed as I can.
Well, that sounds great. We will let you get back to it and do your thing, and maybe go try to make it 3 for 3 here in the playoffs here tonight.
I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thank you for joining. Kyle Speed, Stage 1 winner here tonight. He dropped back in his team. I'm sure they'll talk about how they're going to attack this strategically. 120 laps tonight. We're on lap 45. So presumably these guys have to make 2 more stops. So we'll see exactly how that works out here. Jacob, if you were in the driver's seat, let's say you're the driver of the number 1 truck right here. Easy because you own that truck. What would you do? What's your strategy?
Keep Kyle Spees behind me. That would be my strategy.
That sounds like a good idea.
I just, make sure I'm running laps and not taking out any of these guys behind me. Save tire for sure. Definitely gonna worry about tire saving, but also knowing that you have a little bit older tires. I'd be more worried about spinning the tires on the restart.
Yeah, that is something that you do have to consider. That can happen pretty easily, especially for those guys that did not take tires right there. Again, only about 10 laps on those tires. We did see that work out just fine earlier. Those guys. But, track temp is changing, track surface is changing. And the field is in the hands of Scott Kalal here in the restart zone. He'll get us back going here, completing lap 45 here at Charlotte.
Scott Kalal got out to a massive lead right there. He was able to mash the gas on that restart and a little bit away from Med Park right there.
Yeah, huge gap. Probably the biggest restart we've seen so far. If anybody, the battle's going to be back here. Spees is back here. Behind Victory and Park, and it's just a big tag going for us. Nobody wanted to give an inch.
Oh, Connor Cunningham 3 wide right now.
Ooh.
Man,
he's loose. The 51's in the wall.
Oh,
the 99, the 3.
Rag.
33 sliding through the grass.
Wow.
Wow, that's a big one right there. Scott Kalal holds the lead, but it is a mess behind him. 33, the 51 is probably where we saw the beginning of that.
Looks like Big Netco too, which is one of the villains you could see here on iRacing on the service.
Yeah, it's an unfortunate reality that we have sometimes. Let's go back here and take a look. You'll see the 51 here. The 24 gets loose, and the 51 goes up the track to try to avoid him, and then the 3 gets into the 99. So these two kind of have this little incident up top. Didn't see any hard damage there, even though the 99 was pointed back towards the wall. Not a real hard hit there. But the rest of this mess came from a little bit further back, where we saw the 33. You see that right there, getting to the back of the 3. Ooh, the 71 took a pretty hard hit there. 33 sliding. Didn't hit the pit wall. That's good. That's always a good thing. Again, no fast repairs for these guys, so anytime you can avoid big contact is going to be preferred. I want to ride along with one of my trucks out there. Matthew Greathouse had quite a trip through this incident. Let's take a look. Kind of behind all this. See him right there in the 13. through the grass. There's trucks kind of spinning everywhere in front of him, and cost him a couple instant points there through the grass, but does make it.
Yeah, and one thing I've always learned is, from a good old friend, Reese Schaefer, past champion in Speed Racing Network, is if you're gonna avoid an incident, you'd rather avoid an incident taking it on the grass and getting that 1x than going through it and trying to avoid the other people where you could possibly end up in it.
Yep, let's take a look one more time here. You'll see the 24 just clip the apron. 51 goes up the track because he thinks he's coming all the way up, gets the wall, and this front stretch is just not wide enough, and everybody kind of goes out. Again, some decent contact there, but I don't think anybody hit insanely hard. 71 got a pretty good piece there, and then the 99 got jacked up pretty good, getting back into the wall, but I think that could have been a whole lot worse.
Yeah, it definitely could have. Saw some parts flying from a couple trucks, but everyone seemed to come out pretty unscathed, it looked like, for that one, so good to see.
Alright, well, we have the chance. We're going to hear from our good friends here at iRacing. Back here from Charlotte Motor Speedway here for the Speed Racing Network Glytch Truck Series. We are still under the yellow flag. Field is in the hands of Scott Claw as we've doubled up, getting ready for the restart here on lap 50. So just short of halfway. While we have the chance, we'd like to thank our partner at Glytch for being our continued series sponsor this season. We greatly appreciate their support of Speed Racing Network and what they've done for this series. They will not be back with us next year, unfortunately, as we look towards Season 7, but we appreciate the support they've provided us into this point, and some of the cool partnership opportunities we've had with them. So we're grateful for all our partners at Speed Racing Network. Hate to see them go, but love to be a part of the journey, so we do appreciate the people over at Glytch. You can use code SRN10 to save 10% on your order, and that will stay active through the end of the season. So take advantage of that before it goes away. So, resetting here, Scott Claw in the lead. Kyle Spees, our Stage 1 winner, the one we talked to earlier. He's now finding himself on the front row. Ben Park there in third, and Jason Green in fourth, and then the 4 truck back there, Zachary Hines in fifth. He's the last one that did not come get service. Pace cars pulling away field back in the hands of Scott Claw as he enters the restart zone. And we'll get back going to complete lap 50 here at Charlotte.
Scott Claw is doing a great job on these restarts.
Another massive
Again,
jump. Yeah, that was a great restart. I mean, he's going to be clear by multiple car lengths, so the battle's going to be behind him.
I don't know what juice he's got in the tank right there to get these restarts, but man, he's doing a great job at it.
Well, if I'm Scott Claw, man, I kind of wanted to see the one hold up Kyle Spees a little bit longer. But that's all right. I think Jason Green might battle with him here for a few minutes and might help him out. But look how quick that 25 truck came up on the back bumper at 32 and 3 and 4. Just one corner and he's there. He's going to be battling for the lead here in 1 and 2.
Yeah, he is on the bottom side and
clear.
He's going to take the lead.
Oh my goodness.
He's just going to take the lead.
Well,
he didn't even put up a Claw, didn't put up a fight.
Signed, sealed, and delivered. Kyle Spees to the lead in SRN. We're all surprised. But, I mean, and he goes about it the right way, too. Clean driver, just makes his way to the front. And unfortunately, when he has the lead, it's going to be hard to find your way around it. So, the rest of the field has a little bit of work to do. Everybody's going to kind of get a single file here for the first 7 or 8. Now the 7, Dan Park here, battling with Kalal too. So, Kalal, we saw him stay out there, 10-lap older tires. Man, he's just not able to hold it like we saw the other guys do earlier.
Yeah, no, he is not. Dan Park, he gets around Kalal for a third, and now is going to be right behind his teammate Jason Green. But Jason Green staying with Kyle Spees here, not really fighting him right now, which I wouldn't be either. I would be trying to save tires. Still got a long way to go in this race.
Yep, and the 46 is going to clear the 32. That's for 4th. So the top 7 sorted out. Here's the battle here for 7th. The 99 we saw involved in that incident. Truck looks pretty decent, though. I don't think he has any big damage there. Is going to give the spot here to the 89, it looks like, however. Now the top 8 sorted out. The battle's back here for 9th. Maybe not. 99 has something to say about it.
Yeah, Slider and Wally Babb are going to go at it here in the 15 and in the 99. We'll see side by side. Slider has the advantage now, but he's not going to have it exiting the corner as he hit the apron a little bit. Still side by side with Cunningham pursuing.
Yeah, Connor Cunningham, our pole sitter, we saw him up front as well. I think this is the furthest back we've seen him. He's all the way back here in 10th place. Trying to methodically work his way up here, but I did say dirty air is a problem. It's hard to get that truck to turn when you got that in front of you. And so now we see him I'm just going to go where they're not. He's going to go all the way up top, try to find a little clean air and maybe try to find a way to the front. That's going to pay dividends here. He's going to get a couple spots. 13's going to follow him through, it looks like. They're both going to get by the 15. And the 1. So Connor Cunningham right there. 3 spots in the corner. Now he's going to go to work on the 99.
Yep, and he's going to go to the bottom side.
Over.
Went to the top, but crossed over. And let's see if we can get him here. He's going to send it into the corner. The 99 looks like he's just going to give it to him. And Connor will be up to 8th.
Yep, all the way clear to the wall there. Right on board with the 24. So he's going to keep on trucking. Battle now behind him for 13. Now they're going to go to position number 8. So Greathouse is starting to make a little bit. Does later in the races, kind of protects his stuff and is there when it counts. And he is now cleared to P8. Scott Kalal continuing to fall back here. He's going to lose now the 6th spot.
Yeah, I think that's a problem we're seeing with Ben Park too. Ben Park fell off with those older tires, so Scott Kalal not being as fast as well.
Oh, contact. The 3 and the 88, it looks like. They're just stuck behind the slower truck of the 1 here. Made a little contact there. They both kept it going right there. That is a product of some of the issues you face when you have multiple tire strategies. Trucks on different cycles. The speed difference between tires and not having tires is great. And those closing rates can be really high, and that can really cause issues, especially with how tight this dogleg front switch is. But everybody was able to keep it together. Pretty sorted out here up front as they pass our digger cam here. A couple double wide battles in the back, but up front it's pretty clean.
Yeah, there's been nothing going on. It's been Kyle Spees, Jason Green, and Dan Park at the front. For the most part, these guys they're just trying to save tire, I think. That's save tire, go on a run.
Yeah, and what we're seeing here is the gap is currently about 0.2 of a second between Kyle Spees and Jason Green, and it's about stayed that way. So I think part of it, Jason Green's caught in that in-between period where you're in the wake of the truck in front of you, so the truck just doesn't handle as perfectly as it does up front. But then he's not trying to race too hard for it right now. We're just at halfway on this lap, so plenty of time left, plenty of racing left. He just wants to keep that 25 in his sights, so when the crunch time comes and the pay window opens, he can be there when it matters.
Yeah, that's what is the best thing about being in second place right now. You know, you don't really have to push at all. You just need to be close enough to the leader, and that's where Jason Green is at the moment.
Yep, and that gap is going to stay, just about 2/10 again. So not much change there up front. So we'll kind of work our way through the field here. So see Spees there up front, Jason Green here in second. Daniel Park is occupying the third position. In tow is Dalton McKinney. Austin DeLong, we saw him pull off the track, oddly, before we restart, sit on the pit lane, definitely a lap down, is back in P number 5 here in that beautiful patriotic looking truck. That's one of the schemes we were referring to earlier. He's being chased by Connor Cunningham, who is just ripping the fence. The Kyle Larson line, if you will. Greathouse is in sole possession here of 7th as his paint dry through the road. Plenty of gap. Scott Kalal is still sliding backwards, holding on to 8th right now, but really bad. Behind him. Probably going to make quick work there. Corey Stahl back there in 11th. We saw him involved in that incident, sliding to the infield. Dylan Rodinez back in 12th. Kradke we saw in that incident back in 13th. Kradke in 14th. Sean Long, we saw involved in that other incident earlier in 15th. Ben Park, truck is back, metered, but you know what? He's still out here, 16th. Joe Ruggles just avoided incident behind him, who's in 17th. Back behind the last lead lap in 18th. Vickery is still making laps. Back here in 19th, off the pace. Spencer Brown in 20th, off the pace, followed by closely by Ben Paro in 21st. Gregory Thurlow in the 38, while Lepicki in the 64 are no longer in this event. So that's your field rundown right there. Back up front, Kyle Speed, Jason Green. Dan Park is joining the conversation. Dan Park is not a playoff driver. However, is leading the Tier 2 playoff. So for those not familiar with the Racing Network, we run what's called a Tier 2 playoff. So every driver that doesn't make the playoff, basically they have their own version of the playoff season. The giveaway this year is a full-size canvas print of their truck from whatever paint scheme they ran this year that they want, sent right to them. So a really cool prize, something I've done for my drivers in the past, which I think is really cool. And that's what you earn from being the top point getter in these 5 playoff races while not in the playoffs. So pretty cool. But Dan Park is definitely helping his case and extending his lead in that tonight here running third.
Yeah, and Dan has been quick all season long. I mean, Dan's truck, you know, if you want to think back to Michigan, what a race. But unfortunately, Dan Park was not the driver. It was Connor Cunningham who was in the playoffs there in the 24 truck.
That's right. And speaking of Connor Cunningham, he has got some unfinished business back here. This is a 3-car battle for 4th, right here between the 46, 24, and 89. You know, we see the 24 now. He's been committed to that top line, and I mean, he's really making it work. I just wonder, you know, as we get later in this run, maybe in 2 laps or so, what the fall off looks like on tires. But I mean, they're not running right in front of him, so he's keeping clear air on that nose. I think it's helping the truck turn, and he's running some of the fastest laps on the track right now.
Yeah, he is. He is cruising, and he's looking to get Austin DeLong here. And Austin DeLong, I think, was as much as 2 laps down after his whole issue. So to be back up there in 4th, I mean, that's pretty impressive. Connor Cunningham going to the bottom now, looking to take the bottom from Austin DeLong. They'll be side by side out of turn 40.
Side by side battle, the 24 on the bottom, the 89 on the top. 89 prevails for the time being. This 24 doesn't, I don't think it's quite done in this battle yet. The 89 now goes up to kind of block that line up top. Greathouse says, you know what, I'm going to go to the bottom. You guys are all hanging out up there. I'll just take the lane that's not crowded, and we'll see how far you can get up there with that. But it's interesting. You see the 89. You saw the 24 running that line. 24 was making hay. Got all the way up to him, but now the 89's like, you know what? I think I'm going to run that spot.
Yeah, and I think for Connor, he's a little bit upset about that because now that just brings dirty air, and as you saw there, he got into the wall a tad bit, and McKinney gets in the wall too behind him.
Yeah, I mean, that's the one thing you got to be careful when you're running the top. You know, your margin of error is small. You don't have a lot of room there for mistakes, or you can get in the fence. But if you're close to it and you just kind of graze up against it, not a problem. But this is iRacing. Real life physics are not always in existence around here, so that wall can literally suck you in keep you attached to it. I know I've been a victim of that, and Jacob, you probably have as well, where you get riding on that wall and you just can't get off.
Yeah, it's definitely happened to me before. It's an unfortunate sight to see, especially in the driver's seat. But Greathouse is looking on the bottom side of Connor Cunningham, looking to make the pass, couldn't get it. Now Connor's going to try the bottom.
Oh, sends it on the bottom. Wow.
But he ain't going to be able to make it stick.
Oh.
Greathouse got really close.
Greathouse probably lifted out of it a little bit right there, because you probably could have sent that. But Connor Cunningham went full send mode, and it stuck for the first quarter of the corner, and that was about it. The truck wasn't going to have any more of that. But what a battle back here for 4th place. I mean, this is some great racing.
Yeah, these guys are putting on a show for the Speed Racing Network fans, and Connor's been really good throughout this season at being quick. So I mean, see him have a battle like that and throw it in there like that, I wasn't too surprised about it.
Well, we go to this battle right here. This is our second. Jason Green, Dan Park, and we'll flash some lap times up there on the screen for you to kind of take reference of what's happening out here. Speeds has opened up a pretty decent one here. So, again, still within sight for the 55, but a little bit closer battle here for second. 55 real tight off the corner there off the 4, almost got the fence. But I'm impressed with the run Daniel Park is having tonight. He is doing an incredible job.
Yeah, speaking of that, talking to Dan Park throughout the week, I know he wants to get a win. He's hungry to win in his own truck. I think after seeing his truck in victory lane at Michigan, it made him even hungrier to get a win on his own. So to see him up here in 3rd is very impressive. I'm impressed looking onward as a team owner myself, and just watching him go around and improve over the season has been a great sight to see.
As the field passes by us right here, we are completing lap 75 on lap 76. So we're getting close to kind of having to make some decisions here on pit strategy. I kind of expect within the next 10 laps we see the whole field kind of cycle through whatever they're going to decide to do. I mean, if I'm Kyle Spees, I'm probably just pitting as soon as I know I can make it, and just letting the rest of the field try to beat me on some kind of odd strategy or just a weird caution, because I think on speed, barring anything crazy, the 25 is going to be the class. And we see it all the time. For example, a couple weekends ago, we saw Denny Hamlin out there on speed, just he had it. But what other guys were able to do was bank on some alternate strategy, which may seem super outlandish and crazy. Oh, speaking of outlandish and crazy, we have a caution.
We have a caution. Well, that throws the strategy right out the window.
I spoke it into existence. Spencer Brown had a moment, I'm gathering, because he was off the track. We're going to have to go back and take a look. I wasn't trying to speak it into existence, but I'm not sure if something happened to that truck, because this is a couple laps here. We'll show it to you. He's riding. This looks like he's under power, but then right in front of the leader, this could have been dangerous. He hits the apron, maybe just to let the leader by him down there. Goes through the grass, and then kind of stays way off the pace. And I don't think this is just him letting the field by, because there's nobody on track right there. And he's eventually just going to come to a stop.
We're looking at the backstretch.
He's picking up speed here, but... And then... Well... I don't know. I don't know.
I think just him losing it there was enough for iRacing to throw a caution. It was questionable on iRacing's part there. I wouldn't have even thrown the caution if I were an actual track marshal, but I think that was enough for iRacing to detect it, maybe.
And here at Speed Racing Network, we let iRacing control a lot of the action, so iRacing did throw the caution there. But I don't know. It looked like there's something happening. He was way off pace. He kind of picked pace up, and then I have nothing for that one, but that's okay. We are going to re-rack him here. So, pit stops have happened. Okay, let's let this cycle, and then we'll reset it for you here. We're going to come back to complete lap 79. The 15 did not pit, but all indications here look like he's coming this time. The 75 truck there, oh, maybe not. Okay, not coming this time. 75 truck will get a wave around, lucky dog, something like that. He's laps down. You see the 25 truck back there in third, so he's kind of the next one we're looking at. So that means the 15 truck has stayed out here. We'll see what happens with that.
Well, I think, unfortunately for Ben Morrow, he wasn't the
he was
first
trapped by the
car
15.
a lap down. I think he got trapped.
He was trapped by the 15. So the 75, again, multiple laps down. He's just kind of running for whatever he can gain at this point. It's going to drop back to the back. So we're going to have the 15 truck here assuming the lead. Again, he did not pit. So he's on an alternate strategy. And we know that was a pretty decent green flag run there. So he's going to have some quite older tires. The class of the field is going to line up outside or inside of him, depending on what line they pick, and Kyle Spies. Jason Green third. Connor Cunningham, good pit stop there, was able to jump in front of the 7. So Cunningham will assume the 4th place. Dan Park will slide back to 5th. But I'm interested to see what the 15 strategy is here. I believe they would have to pit one more time from this point to make it, so maybe he's thinking, hey, I catch a quick caution here. These guys have used all their tires. I can have the freshest tires. He's eventually going to lose track position if he plays that move, but I think the biggest thing for him is just going to be trying to get a decent restart on old tires.
Yeah, and unfortunately for Jason Green and a bunch of other drivers on the inside line here, that you just gotta hope that the 15 gets a good restart, because if the 15 doesn't get a good restart, then that stacks up everything on the bottom line and causes calamity. But I'm fairly confident that Slider will get a good start.
We'll find out.
Hopefully we don't jinx it. But.
Well, I spoke a caution into existence about 2 minutes ago, so we'll hope that you didn't speak a restart into existence right there. But the 15 is going to take the inside line here. So if you're Jason Green, if you're Dan Park there right behind him, you know the situation. You just got to be on your toes here. You'd be willing to give up a little bit here on this restart, not to wreck the field. And so we'll see how that works out. Again, we apologize for the trading paint issues not working tonight. Things that are out of our control. We really appreciate the hard work that the teams and the drivers in this series put into their paints and sponsors. We'll make it up to them in some form or fashion. So things look a little weird. The truck numbers on all the trucks are correct, and we will do our best also to convey who's who, clear up any clarification. But you're probably just not used to seeing the color of the truck that you're used to see. Some of the paints are actually correct, but technology does have its downfalls sometimes. So resetting it for you, the 15 assumes the lead. He did not pit here. Everybody else behind him did come down pit road, get 4 fresh tires and full of fuel. Coming back to complete at lap 80. 15 truck. We'll see if he can get off to a good restart. Back under action here at Charlotte. The 15 does get out to a nice jump. Doesn't stack him up like I thought might happen.
Yeah, and that was a great start by Dustin Slider. Kyle Speed is going to drop to that inside of the line, and now he's going to go to the peak the top, get to the top.
See if he has enough momentum. We'll see if he has enough momentum getting into 3. I think now is where we're going to see the 15 struggle. He's not going to have the grip here in the corners. Everybody else is going to have him. Yeah, everybody else is going to have him.
Yeah, Jason is in an unfortunate situation, being stuck behind the 15.
Ooh, the 55 did a great job finding a hole there on the outside. He jumped into the 7, and that's gonna pay dividends. Oh! Big moment into turn 1. Oh, Great House.
Slider.
Oh, Great House. Oh, okay. Great House saved that. The 55 almost spun by himself. That was all over the place. But that's a product of just having a truck on the ground. Oh,
Sean Long in the wall.
Sean
Great
Long,
house.
great house. Oh, great
Saves
house.
it.
Oh my gosh, that's 2 for 2 on the save. It's gonna cost him some track position, but good grief.
What a save
What
by
a
Matt Greyhouse.
save.
Wow.
All right. Well, highlight reels are gonna have to be clipped. I know you clipped some stuff and put it on TikTok about your racing and stuff. That is one of those moments that kind of should be awarded right there, times 2. The 15 is
No,
Great
Great
House.
House gets around.
Oh, Sean
Long and Great House.
Great House is gonna avoid the half wall and the pit. Whoa! Okay, they avoided a second calamity. But that's going to bring the caution out here on lap 85. Man, Great House was a pinball there.
Yeah, Great House was a magnet. Every truck was attracted to him right there.
84 involved
that
in
run.
another incident. And that's the same spot. We've seen issues. They're coming off of turn 4. We'll take a look at it here. We're looking at the 84 and the 13. 13 takes the middle, the 84 takes the bottom. 15 is going to slow right in the middle. Ooh, 84 just looks like he gets up the track a little bit. Great House, I don't know, may have been able to save it if it wasn't for some sort of contact. That's just, it's tough.
Yeah, it's an unfortunate situation. You know, Great House had a lot of saves right there, and then I think his luck ran out.
Yeah, unfortunately, you can't be lucky forever. Well, I don't want to see if we can see. Oh, you know what? He's probably just trying to get it to the outside of the 15 right there because of how slow the 15 was coming off the corner. And, I mean, if you don't have a real spotter in your ear, it's tough to know you're 3 wide. So,
Yeah,
that's
that
kind of
was,
what that looked like there to me.
Yeah, I agree on that. Can't really not gonna put much blame on him there. That
Ooh, Spees is on pit road here.
like one of those incident. Ooh, everyone's coming down pit road.
So it looks like we had 4 trucks stay out. We'll tell you about those guys here in a moment. But the rest of the field does hit the pit lane, make that 5 trucks that stayed out. We'll give you an update. But Spees is on pit road. Cunningham is on pit road. And Jason Green's on pit road. So probably the 3 fastest trucks today all pit here with presumably would be their last set of tires, probably their last pit stop.
Yeah, these guys are going to be running to the end on those 4 fresh Goodyears in all of their Snowkill field that they have in their trucks. They got trucks with older tires, though, in front of them, so it's going to be hard to navigate.
Yeah, let's talk
those trucks.
about these guys that stayed out. Well, the paints are going to refresh here, so we apologize. Dan Park is going to stay out. Again, we saw him do this before. Worked out decent for him the first time. We'll see how it works out this time. He's going to assume the lead. Austin DeLong is going to come out second. Dylan Godinez third. So, a couple guys that we saw try this before are trying it again. Wally Babb is the first of the white trucks. There he is. The 99 there, fourth. Jeffrey Radke is the last truck that stayed out. He'll be P5 there, 3. And then from 5th on back, we're going to see those 4 fresh tires. Well, presumably, if everybody had tires left, I assume they had 1 set laying there in the pits. So this will be interesting. Now, one thing that helps these top 5 compared to what we saw the 15th, A, less laps on this set of tires, right? B, there's more trucks that stayed out. Bigger buffer between you and the guys on fresh tires. But we did see Dan Park earlier in this race have about that same lap number on the tires stay out. I mean, if I'm not mistaken, he held top 5 for that run.
Yeah, he was in the top 5 with those older tires, so Dan trying an alternate strategy, could it work? It possibly could. We'll have to wait and see on that one. But I think he's got it.
Here still on pit road. Sorry to cut you off there. Looks like they're just getting some extra damage fixed. So the 13 is one of those on pit road. The 51 is there as well. The 54 and the 15 just came off pit road. Looks like they completed their damage. Those 2 will take as much time as they need before the pace car comes back around to try to get those trucks fixed up. If they can get all they can get here towards the end of this race. But, I mean, we talked about Dan Park, even outside of this strategy play right now. We've seen some good speed out of him tonight. So, I actually believe that this could pay off really nicely if this run stays green. I think if we get a couple more cautions mixed in and you allow the 25 to get closer and closer, I think that's going to ultimately be the end of this strategy. But if we go green from here, hey, I'm not opposed to what he has going on.
Yeah, neither am I. But I think for Dan, you just kind of hope that read cautions at this point. You definitely want to see more cautions than not. So I think if he gets those, he'll be a more happy camper than a green flag run for sure.
We'll see what happens. Coming back, lap 80. We'll have 31 laps remaining when the pace car peels off. Everybody should make it here on fuel, make it here on tires, so it's going to be a driver's battle to the end. We have a total of 21 trucks still running on the track. 19 of those are currently on the lead lap. And all 10 playoff drivers are still on track. Ben Marley is not one of the playoff drivers, so work to do for him. But for everybody else, this 30 laps could mean a lot towards the quest of obtaining that SRN championship, and probably more importantly, the $500 that goes along with it. But pace car is going to peel away here. The field will be under the control of Dan Park, and we're going to go back green here. 31 laps to go. Nice
Dan
jump
Park.
there by Dan.
Yeah, I was gonna say Dan Park got a decent jump there. Not as massive of a jump as we've seen Scott Claw have, but he got a nice one there, and is leading. I believe it is the 89 of Medina's. Pretty sure that's
trucks
Medina's.
right there behind him, those teammates. This is the battle right here. The battle of the first on the fresh tire, 24 and 25. Connor coming in now speed. Way up through traffic, the quickest and easiest. There's Dagger. 25 is stuck up the top.
And you know, then Connor went to the bottom, and the 25 followed him, and DeLong got stuck.
DeLong got stuck in a bad spot. The 25 almost just drove straight through the 24. 24 on the apron. Doesn't hit anybody.
Connor hit the apron there. Doesn't hit anybody, but Claw's in the wall.
Claw got the wall there pretty
that's
good.
a rhyme right there.
Yep. Claw got the wall there. Zachary Hines is going to work to his inside. He's
Put
now
that one in
at
the
the bottom.
book.
He's going to be below the 89. The 88's now working for Dan Park on the lead. But that 25 truck is getting bigger in a hurry. Jason Green now following him in.
These guys are fighting for it. They want it. They know that there's not a lot left, and Dan Park gets a little loose in front of Kyle Spees, and that's going to allow Godinez to take the lead.
Godinez is blocking like we're at Daytona here on the front stretch here at Charlotte. Almost watered him up, but we all make it through okay. Dan Park is now getting pushed by the 25. He's probably going to get shot out to the lead here. Top line sir. I don't think the 7's going to be able to clear him here. He's probably going to be a little bit more.
Yeah, not quite enough to clear him. I think maybe he'll be able to clear him out of 2. We'll see if Speed gives him a good enough push, maybe to get there.
I think that's what Speed does. His best bet is just getting past. Oh! Takes it 3 wide. We're 3 wide for the lead on the backstretch here at Charlotte.
3 wide into turn 3. Dan Park in the middle. Godinez on the outside. Speed's on the bottom. And Godinez is going to get hit in the back. Green.
Oh, everybody's saving it. Everybody's saving it.
Great save.
Go.
The drivers there.
Wow. We've said that multiple times tonight. And meanwhile, Kyle Speed, he's going to do what Kyle Speed does. Dan Park's not going to let him by easy, though. He's going to hold here with him.
Yeah, Dan Park
Oh,
side by
contact.
side. It's a little bit of contact there. All right, they're
little
fine.
friendly fire. Friendly fire. 2 drivers that they know what that clean air means.
Yeah, Yeah, Dan Park's going to take the lead there after that little contact.
Still got trucks
I
kind
think
of all over the place back here. It's hard to lead in the front. We got all kinds of jostling back and forth, fenders bending back here. The one truck shoots up from the apron, so they're going to get it sorted out. Back to the lead. Oh, Dan Park almost gets almost squeezing the 5. I think Dan Park made a mistake there by giving the 25 the top. I think that's going to be it.
Yeah, well, the problem is, though, Spees is by himself. Spees has no one behind him on that top line just yet. DeLong is there. He's coming. But now Jason Green moves to the top side. All right.
I thought Dan Park was going to really force the issue. They just stay side by side. Jason Green is just a spectator in this.
Yeah, Green's going from top to bottom.
He's like,
trying to
I'm
find
going
the
to let
line.
you guys sort it out right now. I'll figure it out here in a second. We're 3 wide behind them. We'll get to that in a second. We're battling for the lead. Dan Park is not going to give it up.
No, he's not going to give it up without a fight. He wants to win in Speed Racing Network. He wants it so bad. I know it.
And those,
Knowing him.
those guys back there have been 3 wide now for 3 laps. And oh!
There goes the... I can't even see who's back there, Racket. Connor's in it, too.
Oh, Great House gets a piece. Yeah, I was complimenting them on staying 3 wide for as long as they did. And, well, eventually did them in. Yeah, the 88 took a good shot there. The 99 was involved. The 24, wow, that's big implications. There was involved. Let's take a look here. Try to get you 3 wide here. The 99 just gets in the back of the 88. 24. I think Cunningham avoided a big incident there. That's not really good. Oh, Great House kills him.
Connor has some damage, though, it looks like, on his truck, so that might hurt him a little bit.
We might want to go back here and ride with the 24. That might give us a good indication on exactly how much damage he sustained in that incident. Little touch there. Oh. Wow. Well, probably avoided big incident. Didn't look too bad there. Well, these guys are sorting it out in the pits. I'm going to show you what happened with the 46. I think that's going to give us the best view on exactly what occurred here. Try to recycle it here for you. And it looks like the 99 just got a little bit too much of the back of the 88. We're trying to get back to it here for you. Kind of see it right here. Yeah. That's just a 3 wide product right there. Well, you saw the 46 there. Shocking turn of events. 46 is now in the lead. 54 second. Dustin Sluter is third. Ben Park up to 4th. Dan is in 5th. So, what has happened here, now Ben Park pits, we'll take him out of the equation. The top 3 did not pit. So Dalton McKinney, Jason Crackey, Dustin Sluter have stayed out. Now, they did all come down pit road that last time. So, they're not on an extreme. But Dan Park, so 4th place on back. Everybody there has come down the pit line. So, it makes me wonder. We thought we saw the 25, 55, those guys make their last pit stop last time. Because we thought that was their last set of tires. They can make it on fuel. Do you think it's possible, maybe, Jacob, we missed something? Maybe they had an extra set of tires down there?
Yeah, I think it could have been possible. I think Maybe they took tires. I'm going to look back. Yeah, these guys took tires, so I think maybe we missed something. Maybe they had a set that we thought they didn't. And they took their tires. One thing I can say, though, is the strategy for Dan Park worked out. Dan Park was able to stay in the top 5 and then pit with these guys.
Yeah, good point. You know, he's not going to be now at a disadvantage. He's now equal with him. And I think from what we've seen tonight, he has the pace to be able to kind of stay in that spot.
Yeah, he has been fast, but, Speeds has been faster.
Yeah.
Speeds has been the guy all night long. Can anyone stop Speeds at this point?
And I don't know. I think if we want to talk about it, I think we go back another spot. I think we look at Jason Green. He's kind of stalked Speeds all night. He's been right there. Is there a chance there? I mean, I think so. I don't know if Jason's been holding it back in this event. If he has, now would be the time to let it loose. But we've seen him be able to stay within throwing distance. But Park was right there with him on that long green flag run, so there's always a chance there. But Dalton McKinney, first time we've seen him lead laps tonight. He's now up front. But he has shown good pace tonight. Did start up. Brad Kunis was second, Dustin Fleerisham's third. So those are the trucks again that did not come down pit road from service that time. From fourth on back is going to be locked and loaded in and ready to go. And we're going to restart here with just 18 laps to go.
Yeah, this should be a fun one to the finish. If we can see some green flag running, that's what would be an exciting end to a race.
The key is what we saw last week was on the 15, way off the pace on those older tires. It was all about how those faster trucks worked around them. Now you have 3 of them to work around. We're going to see how patient Kyle Speeds is. And this is one of those moments where if you're not patient, it can really get you in some trouble. And in the playoffs, you want to avoid the trouble. Pace car peels off. Field's in the hands of Dalton McKinney here. We're going to restart here at Charlotte. 18 laps to go.
It looks like lights are back on the pace truck.
Yep.
So we are not going green here right now.
Just heard that announcement come through the speakers that they did deploy the pace car back. Not sure why that is. I would have to check with our admin team. Maybe somebody's not lined up yet. Maybe they're trying to figure out something in the running order. But we will rack that back. And instead of restarting with 18 to go, we'll restart with 17 to go as the pace car catches back up to the front of the field.
Re-rack them and restack them here at Charlotte. So excited to see that green flag start here, but I guess we will have to wait just a little bit longer for that green flag.
Yep, just one more lap to burn under yellow here. Haven't had too many caution laps here. We've had 5 cautions. We've had the stage. But it's been a pretty clean event. I mean, the incidents, yes, naturally here with the more packed up trucks have been bigger. But we have seen a lot of just messiness, which is always good.
No, we haven't. These guys have, they've almost gotten into incidents plenty of times tonight. Saves have been everywhere for these drivers, and they have been showing their skill and their talent here tonight.
Again, your playoff drivers are listed there in blue on the scoring pylon if you're keeping track. Pace car pulls away. We're going to restart here, Charlotte. Now, 17 laps to go. A good jump there by the 46. Much like what we saw from Scott Wall.
Yeah, he got out to a big gap. Speed stuck behind the 15 of Dustin and Slider. You've got to be patient with this guy. I think Speeds now has the hole on the outside. He's going to take it, but Slider was going up there with him.
Yep, they're packed up there behind 16 by 2. Speeds now has the top line. He's going to make probably a decent quick work here with a 15. Speeds, I think, is in a prime position here. They're trying to sort it out behind 15 is a little bit slower than everybody, but log jam effect. The 55 is going to try to get to the outside of the 55.
Yeah, and for Kyle Speeds, you're happy because everyone got stuck behind the 54 and the 15. Dan Park, Jason Green, Radke, Kalal, everyone got stuck behind those two trucks. So you have a little bit of a gap now to these guys.
Kyle's putting back to the lead. The 46 does stay close in tow. Jason Green does work through those other trucks, so he is now the third. He'll be behind him. I think if the 55 can get by the 46 quickly here, slide into 3, I think that's going to make it a good race between those two, because those are going to be the ones on the fresh tires. The 54 is now on the bottom. Back and behind 3 truck there on the outside, it looks like.
Yeah, and Green got around the 46 of Dalton McKinney really quick, so now he's going to try and take it to Kyle Spees, show us maybe he's got a little something for Kyle Spees, because it seems like anybody hasn't had anything for Kyle Spees tonight.
Or in the playoffs, for that matter, to this point. So you see Jason Green get up there and try to punch his ticket to the championship round. Again, championship payout. $500 here. So, I mean, it means more than just a little race win to punch your ticket for a championship. We'll see where that develops, but Jason Green is definitely staying in touch there.
Yes, he is. Dan Park was looking for a guy we haven't talked about a lot tonight in this race. Jeffrey Radke sitting there in P3 for the moment, doing really well. Started about 11th here tonight, so to be up in P3 right now, I'm sure he is happy, but Dan Park is looking for him.
Yeah, and we've spent a lot of time tonight. Dan Park was shown tonight. He's played really interesting strategy. Got himself to number 3, 4th, 3rd place. Probably take a few more laps to get there. Back up front, this is where the battle is. 25 and the 55. And they're probably going to do a lot like this for the rest of the 11 laps of this event.
Yeah, it's hard to pass at Charlotte. Tough track to pass at, so Jason Green's got to try something on Kyle Spees, but I think he's waiting a little bit, just waiting, making sure he can save a little bit of tire still to the end, because there's still about 11 laps left in this thing.
We'll pop up there the lap times for you for these front turns. Back and progress, back and forth. I'll just leave that up there so we can keep up to another battle in the field. But as you can see, kind of back and forth. Spees was faster for a couple laps, Green was faster for a couple laps. We'll see how that develops, see if one starts to take over from the other, but right now, a little back and forth. Back to the field. Everybody's pretty sorted out. Here, top 10. Crabtree, Stahl, Sean Long, Scott Kalal right here. 8. Currently occupied, so a good rebound from Scott from getting to the fence earlier. We saw him in the what? Got himself a good run. Here 11th out of 10. Up a little bit. Austin DeLong still good. Dan Park is still good. 3rd spot. But this is the battle right here up front.
Yeah, and Jason Green hasn't been able to close any time on Kyle Spees. He's got to start working different lines, seeing if he can find something to be able to get to Kyle Spees, because if not, Kyle Spees is just going to run away with this thing, as he's done before in these last couple races in the playoffs. So Jason Green's trying to find anything right now. He's got to find something, got to make something work to get to Kyle Spees to be able to get a chance to get around him.
Yeah, and unfortunately, just 3/10 faster on that last lap. You know, it isn't now slower on that lap, but that's not going to help his case. He's going to need more than just that. If he's not here on the gap, it is currently 3/10 of a second. We'll see how that develops. His last lap, roughly 600ths faster. So still pretty tight, but now you see kind of the top 4 evenly spaced. I wonder if we're seeing Green say, you know what, I can't get him right now. Let me cool the tires off here for a couple laps, and then maybe I'll give it all I can.
Yeah, he's trying. Jason, unfortunately, is losing too much time. Radke's catching him quick. So, fortunately for Jason, you know, you wanted to try and get the speeds, but now you've got another truck that's probably faster than you now.
Now hunting down the 55, and that gap between number 1 and number 2 now is grown twofold, almost doubled from what we saw lap before, nearing 0.6 of a second, just under. So that's, again, Kyle Speed, the Kevin Harvick of Speed Racing Network, if you will, the closer. You know, he finds himself in the right position at the right time. And as hard as it is sometimes to win in this series, winning the first 3 races of the playoffs would be quite the accomplishment.
Yeah, so far, Speed has been untouchable, but we still have about 3 people left in, you know, caution come out. I don't want to say that. I don't be that guy. I don't want to be that guy. Caution still very likely within the few laps to go.
The field is pretty spread out, so that does help his case. The battle here is for second. This is Jeffrey Radke, Jason Green trying to settle this position. Both of them are playoff drivers, so that point didn't matter. After Greathouse was down there getting to the pit lane, his race might be just about over with. We saw him take the hard contact to the inside wall. But this battle we're seeing right here for this spot that equals that 1 point, we might come back after the Iowa race, and that point might be the difference between making the championship 5 and not making it.
Yeah, it's all about the points. Side by side, Radke not quite getting in front of Jason Green here, still side by side down the front stretch as we have about 3 to go. 2 to go now, should be.
2 laps to go in this event. The battle still for second. Bees has said, see ya. I am checking out. I am taking this with me. And he's just hoping the next 2 corners, a yellow flag does not check.
And I don't think it will. Radke is finally able to get around Jason Green as the white flag will wave for Kyle Spees.
1 more lap for Kyle Spees to navigate through Charlotte. And what a dominant start to the playoffs. Had a really dominant regular season. The top seed coming into the playoffs was ranked first in points because he had the most bonus points. Oh! Contact down the backstretch. The 3 and the 55 get together. They're going to stay in their respective positions. We'll have to go back and look at that later. Meanwhile, Kyle Spees out of turn 4. He's going to win the first 3 races of the Speed Racing Network Glytch Truck Series playoffs.
Oh, Austin DeLong was so close to P3 right there. Just couldn't quite get it.
Jeffrey Radke does bring it home second. Jason Green does get credit for third place on the backstretch. Along fourth, Daniel Park. Good top 5 for Dan and a really good run we saw here today. The final results there are on the left-hand side. We'll show them to you in the screen in a second. We're going to go up here and watch Victory Lane. We're going to watch good old Kyle Spees do what he does best around here in these parts and burn it down. So while he does that, we'll pop up some finishing results for you. We'll show you where everybody rounded up. We'll also point out any playoff drivers in that as well. Here are your finishing results. So, Kyle Spees does get the win through the night. Jeffrey Radke comes in second. Jason Green comes in third. Those top 3 playoff drivers for you. Austin DeLong will come home 4th. Dan Park comes home 5th. Scott Kalal, another playoff driver, in 6th. Sean Long, 7th. Corey Stahl, 8th. Zachary Hines, 9th. Joe Ruggles with a nice top 10 here tonight. Dalton McKinney is 11th. Ben Park, 12th. Dustin Sluter, 13th. Jason Kratke, 14th. Dylan Godin is 15th. Jeffrey Vickery, 16th. Connor Cunningham, all the way back in 17th. And Matthew Greathouse will round up the top 18 there in 18th. So Connor Cunningham, Matthew Greathouse, 2 playoff drivers that we find towards the back end of the field at this one. So we're going to have some interesting storylines as we head into the Iowa race next week. So, Jacob, what an event. We saw a little bit of everything. But we're not done. We still have some drivers to talk to. So as they're finding their way to the victory lane broadcast area. Give us some of your top 2 or 3 takeaways from the race here.
I mean, these guys ran hard. There was a lot of almost wrecks, saved it, but Kyle Spees has been dominant all season long, and in the playoffs, dominant again. This dude is untouchable right now. He has it all. Nobody can get him. Nobody can seem to win. If you're going against Kyle Spees, he has been so fast in the Speed Racing Network Glytch Truck Series.
Well, how about we talk to the fella? We already talked to him once tonight. Let's get him back. Kyle Spees joining us again in the booth this evening for your second appearance. Congratulations on the win. Congratulations on your start to the playoffs. Jacob says you were untouchable. I said you were untouchable for the playoffs. Talk to us about the race.
What a battle there at the end with all those cautions. It just seemed, I was about to say to Jeff and Jason in the waiting room there, every time it seemed like we went in to get fresh tires or have a strat, there was 4 cars that stayed out on different strategies. So it just like mixed us up. So typically capped everyone that was battling. There was about 5 of us all night that were all around each other. I just thought there after that last green flag run before that caution we had, I thought I could get out in front and stay in front if I could lead it, and that's what I tried to do there at the end. I just tried to get in front of everybody. I thought I could save my tires a little more than they could, and if I could do that, I could pull away. And luckily, I got out front and I just pulled away there at the end due to tire saving.
Yeah, and we saw a lot of different strategies tonight. We saw a little bit of everything. We thought we had it figured out when everybody came down for that last pit stop, and then we saw some of you guys come down pit road again, and we're like, okay, this is interesting. So multiple times tonight, you had to find yourself through 1 to 5 trucks that stayed out. We saw a couple sketchy moments trying to avoid some of those slower trucks. What was your thought process as you were trying to work through some of those slower trucks? Were you just trying to be more on the patient side to make sure you made it through safely, or were you also trying to weigh the options of, hey, I got to get through these guys quick because I know how good some of these guys are right behind me?
Towards the end, I was definitely on the try to get in front and stay in front. I saved a little bit behind them one run and just to see how it was, and they were just so slow, like you were just saying, that the good guys were going to pass me, so I just needed to get by. So I did shove it 3 wide a couple times. But with the speed difference, I just think you had to get out in front to stay in front tonight and not have all the dirty air. I think all the dirty air was going to kill it. With the mixture of tires, some guys were even on 10-lap bloater tires. They were just completely dragging us down. So yeah, I think the strat tonight was just go out front and stay in front and not try to sit and save as much as you can. I think it was just try to stay in front and not have any dirty air with you.
Well, that turned out to be the winning move because, well, you're talking to us right now. So that's how that worked out for you. Iowa's next. That's obviously the cutoff race before we get to Nashville. This win does guarantee you are going to run into the championship when we get there at Nashville Super Speedway. So next week, obviously, doesn't mean too much for you. What are you looking forward to in Iowa?
Patience and set myself up with a good qualifying. I'm a little worried if you don't get a good qualifying, you might be a part of some early carnage, which I don't want to be a part of. I have qualified good so far, but a new week can change everything. One slip up could put you in the middle of the pack. So I'm trying to stay out in front. At least top 5 would be my goal, and then just trying to stay in front as long as I can. I actually do enjoy Iowa, so I'm excited to race that. I thought tonight was actually Chicagoland, so I actually misread the schedule. And when it was Charlotte, this is my favorite track. So for me to win tonight was just tip of the cap to myself because I love this track. But next week, Iowa, love that track as well. So stay out in front and see what happens.
Well, good deal. We look forward to that. We look forward to seeing you next week. We look forward to seeing you run for the championship in Nashville now that we know you're guaranteed to be a part of it. Before we let you go, who would you like to thank for your racing efforts here this evening?
First and foremost, you guys for putting on the league, taking over a whole league that has been apart for many, many years. It's probably a big task. So I think you guys have done a great job. Broadcast and all, it's been great. And then shout out to the team, Threat Level and Lucky Dog Racing with Jeffrey Vickery as the owner. And then just shout out to my grandma Sue and my mom Megan. They both watch the stream, probably comment here and there. They watch every single race that I'm in. So props to them.
We appreciate them for watching. Go celebrate this evening, and we look forward to talking to you again next week.
Thank you.
Absolutely. That was Kyle Spees, winner here tonight. Jacob, I'm going to let you have Mr. Jeffrey Radke, our second place finisher tonight. He's now joining us here in the booth.
Jeffrey Radke, second place finish tonight, and man, I don't think we said your name a lot at all tonight. How did you get it done? I just need to know.
Saving tires, a little bit of strategy, flip flop there, got me some good track position, got back on the same strategy once this last caution fell, and then was able to hold on there with that last little 18 lap run.
Yeah, I've seen you and Jason Green had a little moment there on the backstretch. Was there anything to that, or is it just hard racing at the end there?
Just hard racing at the end there. I got him a little bit of the door coming out of 4. He tucked down and got me in the door coming out of 2, and that last little bit there, he tried to side draft, just got my left rear quarter, and we were both luckily able to hold on to it and keep it going straight. So no harm, no foul.
Um, you know, strategy took a lot of this race, and you said saving tires was mainly your strategy. Was there any more to that? Did you guys talk about pit strategy at all throughout the race? Your team?
Yeah, well, once I got in that wreck there with Vickery, when him and the 24 got into it going through 4, it kind of messed me up. I had 2.5 minutes worth of damage. So from that point on, my strategy kind of changed from everybody else's. I think Dalton accidentally took 2 tires on one of those stops, so he was down a set on the last stint there, which hurt him quite a bit. But I mean, we try to make a strategy in the beginning, and then it just gets audibled every caution or every run we do. So it's tough to keep track.
Well, being in the playoffs next week, we go to Iowa. I want to know how you feel about Iowa. You finished second tonight, didn't quite lock you in just yet. So, how are you feeling? Your thoughts on Iowa?
Well, the best person to win this week was probably Spees, since he's already leading and locked. So that probably helps my situation. But I look forward to Iowa. I've had some good runs there. If we can get some good long green flag runs, I'll probably be up front and contending for the win.
All right. Well, before I let you go, I just want to ask if there's any sponsors you'd like to thank, or anybody you'd like to thank before you take home your second place finish here tonight.
Genesis Technologies, they're on the side of the truck. They sponsor me to run this season. My wife, of course, she always lets me do it every week. You guys for putting the broadcast on, and the league, and the guys over at TLM. Teamwork throughout the week helps get us ready for these big nights, and hope we can capitalize.
All right. Well, that was a good finish for you, Jeffrey Radke. And we will see you next week, hopefully well, I won't see you, but Mr. Byer will hopefully see you next week at Iowa.
Sure. Have a good night.
That was Jeffrey Radke, second place finisher in the number 3 level midnight truck here tonight. So last guy we got to talk to, who is waiting for us to talk to, guy that drives for you, Jacob. So I'd let it be easy and let you have it, but you know what? I'm going to talk to him. Jason Green, now joining us here in the booth. He finished 3rd here tonight in that 55 truck. Jason, we saw you kind of up front all night. Obviously, Kyle Spees just had everybody's number at certain points. Talk us a little bit through your night, and kind of maybe if you needed anything else right there at the end.
Yeah, no, it was a good night. Yeah, he's just like after 30 laps and some tire wear, the dude's just in a different zip code. So I know there was a run in the middle of that race where I was like super intentional around just like taking care of your stuff, making sure you can last the full 30, 40 laps, knowing it was going to get close there with fuel. I think it was like with 80 to go and try and make it just a one stop toward the end. And that was a good run. I felt like my fall off wasn't near as bad there. But I definitely would say towards the end there, that last restart, I was trying. It's like playing both. It's like you got to get through some of the traffic. You got to be able to still, be within a couple tenths of Kyle. And then towards the end of that race there, I might fall off. I don't know. I must have just burned it up a little bit, or my throttle input wasn't what it needed to be. But he just pulled away once again. But yeah, it was a good race for us. Playoffs still going on. I think it should put us in a decent spot going into next week. But yeah, it was a fun race.
Yeah, and we got to see a little bit of everything. I think the most intriguing storyline that me and Jacob got to talk about all night was every caution. Some people stayed out, some people pit. We knew you were limited on set of tires, so you kind of had to plan it around that. Um, we were kind of the most surprised on that last pit stop when we saw you and Spees and Dan Park all come down. What was you so when we went back after the stage, did you guys have a kind of a thought on how you wanted to split it up, or did you kind of expect cautions and just wanted to work around however they fell?
Yeah, so I knew I was going to be a couple laps short to try and make it a one-stop race after the stage. So I was probably like 2 or 3 laps to the bad and knew, hey, if the guys come in front, I don't think I'd be able to save that over the last, what would that be, like 80-ish laps. So just decided to come in, and then it played out to where the cautions I feel like would have saved you anyways. But I mean, it benefited people like Dan Park tonight, who had a great run, who was able to stay out, keep his track position, and catch a caution at the right time. And I think he ended up with like a top 5 or something like that. So
Yes.
yeah, strategy definitely played a role tonight for sure.
Well, this is good for your playoff run as it continues. You racked up a good amount of points tonight. That's gonna put you pretty solid into the cut as we go into Iowa next week. So let's talk about it. Iowa, how are you feeling? What are your expectations? Do you have a game plan going in? Or are you gonna just try to pad a bunch of points at the stage and just stay out of carnage, or are you just gonna try to do whatever you can to protect the truck to be there at the end?
I would say for Iowa, it's an interesting track. You kind of still need to be aggressive there, but you'll get some long runs as well, right? So usually it's just trying to keep your car up front, stay out of some of the mess in the back, and then I don't know if usually strategy can come into play there as well. So we'll have to just kind of keep tabs on that. With it being a short track, I'm sure people are going to be leaning on each other left and right. So just gotta keep your eyes open and keep your nose clean to see what you can do at the end of the day.
Well, we're looking forward to it. I'll be on the call again next week, so I look forward to seeing you. And hopefully, it would be a good sign if I get to talk to you again next week. So we'll go ahead and schedule that to be a thing. So
But
before we let you go, any sponsors, family, anybody you'd like to thank tonight that supports your racing efforts on a week-to-week basis?
yeah, no, I'm calling out the fam tonight. I'm flying into Indianapolis on Thursday. We're gonna go do the Memorial Day weekend. I think it's probably one of the best. Get to go to IRP on Friday, Anderson on Saturday, and then the big track on Sunday. So looking forward to that. Got to call them out. They tune in consistently. So give them a little shout out there. We'll
Yeah,
see you soon.
absolutely. And then your team owner in here kept reminding me tonight that he owns your truck and it looks really good, running really well. So maybe that was a little luck on your side as well. But hey, great run tonight. We look forward to seeing you again next week.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
Absolutely. That was Jason Green, third place finisher here tonight. Well, Jacob, we made it. We successfully made it through a broadcast with us two, and the place didn't burn down. We did have a few rough issues here and there.
Yeah,
we'll get it.
it's
We'll get it
painful
ironed
shit,
out.
but-
But you know what? This is not what I do all the time. So, considering that, we made it. Thank you all for joining us tonight. We really appreciate you tuning into any Speed Racing Network event. We do remind you, we have some other good things happening around here. Tomorrow night, KSP series. So this is our little short track series. It's a little fun series we're doing. You can still enter. It's $10 a race to enter. We're taking our super late models to Nashville Fairgrounds tomorrow night. So that'll be a really good event. You can race or just watch. It'll be right here on Speed Racing Network. We've had some really incredible racing in that series so far, so we're looking forward to more of that. Information is on your screen. If you'd like to sign up and be a part of that, we'd love to have you. But also, if you'd love to watch, it'll be right here and you can find it. I'll be on the call on that race as well. James Kerr won last week's late model stock race at Myrtle Beach. Austin Purnell won the opener at New Hampshire. So we've had some pretty good races in there so far. So join us, contact us if you want to be a part of that, or watch right here on Speed Racing Network. Other than that, we already discussed it here with our drivers, but we're going to be here at Iowa in the Glytch Truck Series next week. I'll be on the call. We don't have our assistant broadcaster announced yet, but we'll find somebody, and we'll have a good time with it. So after that race, we will cut to the top 5, and that'll be our championship 5 running for the big prize $500. Now, everybody that makes the final 10 will get a championship payout, but obviously you got to be in the top 5 to make the big money. So we look forward to having that. Outside of that, just a couple sponsors we'd like to thank before we hang it up here tonight. We already talked a little bit about Glytch, but we'd like to thank them. They are here to dominate and revolutionize the landscape of esports by prioritizing gamer health and well-being first. Gamer wellness aside, their creations are used to help increase your work energy through the day and the night. Use code SRN10 to save 10% on any order on their website. We'd like to thank KSP Performance for their support of our Short Track Series League. For over 20 years, they've been continuously upgrading to meet the needs and development of the automotive market, specializing in things like lift kits, which you saw in one of our commercials earlier tonight. Admin Box for being a continued supporter of Speed Racing Network. We can't do it without them. They're built by iRacers for iRacers to make race control as easy as possible. They connect via USB, are pre-programmed for commands, so you don't have to be very smart. You can do it as just a regular iRacer, so I could probably even figure it out. You can use code SRN-BOXX to save 10% on your order there as well. Well, on behalf of myself, Jonathan Byer, the president of Speed Racing Network, and Bird Dog Racing team owner Jacob Zala and former Speed Racing Network driver, we'd like to thank you for watching tonight, and we look forward to seeing you join us next week.